Today on the channel, we're the defenders of the faith, and we get extra heavy duty in this cyber world with an evening star in Rob Halford, McFarlane Toys.
In the garage, where the lights are dim, Kyle Peterson ready to begin. Action figures lined up, a plastic parade. Time to rip them open, no plan to fade. Kyle steps up, he's on with the mic. The warrior's heart, ready to strike. Revealing him.
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another McFarlane Toys Music Maniacs unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we're screaming for vengeance with Rob Halford. But for all your Rob Halford needs and a whole lot more, make sure you're hitting up jaystoysandgames.com. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. Got to get a deal out there. And I'm extremely excited for this Rob Halford. As you guys know, I'm a huge Judas Priest fan. I'm a huge Rob Halford solo career fan. I go back to the rock and roll days all the way to current day. Huge Halford fan. So I'm very excited whenever we get some Rob Halford memorabilia, especially in the action figure form. And it's been a while. We got a Knucklebone statue, and that's a statue, but it's about time we get a Rob Halford action figure. I hope this just can live up to what I want it to be. And there's only one way we're going to find out how do we do that is how we're going to do this review. We're going to do it like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. Like a young Johnny Be Good is what we're going to do today. But Rob Halford, what can you say? One of the greatest vocalists of all time. Still going today. Still going strong with Judas Priest. Currently out on tour. They will be touring here very soon in the United States with Alice Cooper opening for them. Two bands I've seen many a times as well. I hope I can make one of those shows. It's going to be a little iffy. We'll see if my work travels allow me to see the Boys and Priest one more time. And shout out to good friend of the channel, Richie Faulkner, who has watched this channel a time or two and commented on a video or two. So it all comes back to the Priest in the East, that is for sure. But let's dive into it right here. Let's dive into that old electric guy, old Rob Halford here, looking very cool in the package. Now, Rob Halford's an interesting character in more ways than one. This is almost his modern day wizard look with the long Santa Claus beard. I got to think when most people close their eyes with Rob Halford, they go back to maybe the 70s, the Hell Bent for Leather's day. You know, they're just a killing machine at the end of the day as well. But the Hell Bent for Leather with the studs and the whip and the hat and all that kind of stuff, that's what they think of. But like I said, this is a modern day Rob Halford if there ever was one here. This is like what you see right now if you go see Judas Priest. We've seen the Music Maniacs before. Looking good here. We've unboxed what? Ozzy, Eddie the Trooper. We've unboxed Alice Cooper on here. So we've unboxed a few of these here. Kind of remind me of the Super Friends. Batman 66 McFarlane figures is really what they remind you of. But they do look good right here. Rob Halford looks good as a modern take on Rob Halford. Now it does say Rob Halford of Judas Priest, McFarlane Toys, limited edition of 4,300. And how did you get to that number? You just shrugged your toes. You don't know either. So I always thought it was weird there. 12 and up. Now, for whatever reason, $35 price point on these. I don't know if that's just Rob Halford or what, but the price point is weird. I was at Jay's when they got these in, and that's what they ended up paying. You know, obviously they got to make their margins too, but $35, a little bit rough for this, Todd. A little bit rough. Now, you can save 15% at jaystoysandgames.com using code Kyle, so that will take some sting off it, of course. Now, on the back here, classic Painkiller album cover. This is where I got into Judas Priest. I was like a 9-year-old kid when this album originally came out. Blew my mind away. I'd never heard anything like it. And to this day, if anybody ever comes to me and says, Kyle, what is heavy metal? What's the perfect heavy metal album? The album I would hand them is Judas Priest Painkiller. It's got a little bit of everything heavy metal, and it is really the definition of the kind of heavy metal I really do enjoy. So a landmark album, an amazing album, and if anybody ever asks me what my favorite Priest album is, it's tough, but all day long it is Painkiller. This is their opus, and the sad thing was they broke up for many years after this Painkiller album. Rob Halford went to 2 and then his solo career and then got back in the saddle with Resurrection. I really recommend that solo album from Rob Halford. And then a bunch of other stuff, even some Christmas albums for Rob Halford, laying down some of those Santa Claus beard tracks, I guess is what he's doing. But absolutely Painkiller. If you've never heard Judas Priest, that is the one to start. So many great songs. Nightcrawler, you know, A Touch of Evil. Oh, we could go on all day. And how many Judas Priest references am I going to have in this video? I guess we'll never know. UPC's Jibber Jabber down here. One of 4,300 once again. Music Maniacs. Painkiller 1990. 2025 Judas Priest. That's about it. But let's get him out of the package. Let's see what all the Rob Halford fuss is about. And you guys know people are fussing about Rob Halford. I am sad I never got to see Rob Halford solo. See you later, goodbye. I've talked about my years of trying to see Ozzy Osbourne in concert, and I had tickets to see Ozzy with Halford opening, and of course, you know, Ozzy canceled last minute cancellation. I never got to see Halford solo. See you later, goodbye. Very, very sad for young Kyle, old Kyle, all Kyle. See you later, Kyle, as well. Judas Priest card in here for Rob Halford, certificate of authenticity. This one is 2,546 of 4,300. So it's funny that I got my favorite number, 2546, of course. Looking good, but that's Halford right there on the bike. This is current Rob Halford. So to say this is Painkiller Rob Halford is a huge stretch, because when Painkiller came out, check out the Painkiller video. Look it up on YouTube, of course, after you're done watching this. Halford doesn't look anything like this in that video here. So really what this should say is 2025, celebrating the 35th anniversary. What is time? 90, 2000, 35 years of Painkiller. That's what it should say. Celebrating 35 years of Painkiller. You should have that on the package. Not Painkiller 1990 Rob Halford. No way. No way. But there it is. Plastic Prison. Looking good. Looking great. And we're going to get Halford out of here. Either way, I love a Halford figure. I'm not complaining about something like this. We don't get stuff very often like this either. In Toyland, of course. Pull that out here. Can we get a Glenn Tipton and KK Downing and Ian Skullhill? You call him Skull personally, I believe. See you later, goodbye. Don't think we want to get Dave Holland with all the stuff, the shenanigans. We don't want Dave Holland. But we would take Les Banks. We'll take Les Banks. Rip Les Banks just passed away. And of course, Scott Travis, one of the all-time favorites as well. But we got Rob Halford out of the package. I guess we'll start it off. We got the mic stand here. We've seen this with like Alice Cooper. Got to get the most out of your molds, but it is a stand, a mic stand. Move it around, back, forth, side to side. You got two peg holes down here, so you can peg Rob Halford if you want to, if that is your thing, of course. But now, getting down to the man, the myth, the machine, of course, the metal god, Rob Halford. Now, I see Rob Halford in this head sculpt. I do see it. Now, this isn't my mind's eye what I think of right away, but once again, this is current Santa Claus wizard beard. He almost needs that big wizard robe there. And you know, one thing he doesn't like is a wizard sleeve. I heard his wizard robes, no wizard sleeves at all for Rob Halford. No sleeves at all. But man, it does look like Rob Halford. Now, a lot of people are complaining because the tattoos they said weren't on the head. The tattoos are on the head here. So they are on here. So that is key with Rob Halford. Got those tattoos on there. Like a young one-man gang once upon a time. But it does look good. It does look like Rob Halford. However, there is a glossiness to that head. He's got a little bit of a smiling face right there. It's off just a little bit, barely. And I feel like if you're a customizer, you're somebody that can paint your figures and bring out some details. I feel like there's some details you can bring out in the sculpt here to make this officially Rob Halford, but it is a modern day wizard Rob Halford right here. Of course, he's got the old denim and leather, and it looks like we got black leather and we got black denim here. But you know what they say about denim and leather, Todd? Yes, you've been watching. You've been from the couch. You should know this. You should be able to recite this immediately. But of course, denim and leather brought us all together, but it was you. Yes, you. I'm pointing at you. You don't think I'm pointing at you. I am pointing at you. It was you that set the spirit free, of course, as we know. But love the studs, love the leather, love the black. Got the black gloves going on, got the black boots. Got the pants here. Halford always wears an amazing get up on stage. I don't know how he survives with all that heavy gear, the leather, and now the chains and everything else. And I'll never forget the first time I saw Judas Priest the first time I saw Judas Priest in concert was with Tim Ripper Owens. So back on the Jugulator tour once upon a time. And I've seen Ripper quite a few times, and I enjoyed Ripper, but Halford was the man, obviously. And I got to see that 2004 it was Ozfest, and it was an absolute amazing Ozfest. If people ask me, Kyle, what was your favorite show you ever saw in all the years? Obviously, the Motorhead cruises are right up there. A complete experience for 4 days or whatever it was at sea. That was quite the experience on both of those cruises with Lemmy and everybody else and all the other bands. But we'll say on land, it's got to be the Ozfest 2004. It was the reunion of Judas Priest with Rob Halford, which was a massive, massive deal. I was so excited for. But then the cherry on top was the Black Sabbath reunion with Bill Ward on drums at the time. Never got to see Ozzy solo, but I got to see Black Sabbath with Ozzy multiple times in concert. So I'll take my win there, I guess. But those were the co-headliners. Of course, Slipknot was there on the second stage headlining. Black Label Society was there. I think Down played on that year's tour. Who else? Dimmu Borgir. That was probably my least favorite of the bands there. Oh, Slayer was there. That was an amazing year. 2004 Ozfest. A lot of fun times around that time. Let me tell you. And then it was like 2 months after that, I met my future wife after that show. Never forget. And I remember telling her, man, I just saw Slayer 2 months ago, because some people know this, some people don't. The night I met my wife, she was like, oh yeah, last night I was at the Slayer show. And I'm like, you were at the what show last night? You were at the Slayer show? And it was love at first sight. And here we are some 20 years later. And there you go. So the more you know, kids, the more you know. But articulation, arms all the way around right here. Single jointed elbows, side to side. Hands back and forth, side to side. Got the gripping hand here. Got the heavy metal hand here. He's throwing up the horns. He's doing it for my boy Dio, that's for sure. Nice touch for this. A nice touch to give this a little extra pizzazz. I like that a whole lot there. You get waist articulation. You get the legs that go up. Single jointed knee. No ankles, anything like that. It is what it is. It is Rob Halford. Going to stick him on the stand. We're going to peg him right in there. And we're off to the old Rob Halford races. So a little less than, I think that's fair to say, but it is pretty darn cool if you're a Rob Halford fan to get a Judas Priest figure here in 2025. We'd love to see more of this kind of stuff. It's barking up the right tree for me. Maybe you, if you're watching this as well. But I feel like it could have been a little bit more, especially if the price point is really around $30, $35. Seems extra expensive for this. And I think that's a little bit of that Judas Priest management, which say what you want if you know that management team. I'm guessing they're getting a little extra of this to get this one made. And Todd, I'm surprised you went along with this, but you've told me in the past you're a huge, huge Judas Priest fan. And what was your favorite Judas Priest song once again? Oh, that's right. Johnny Be Good. You know, that was a cover, right? And a lot of people say that's their worst song ever. Yeah, but you love it. Okay, well, you love it. You used to write a lot of artwork to that. You actually invented Venom to that song. The more you know, the things you learn on this channel from our friend Todd McFarlane. That's why you stick around. Make sure you subscribe, of course. But there it is, the metal god himself, Rob Halford, like a young night crawler, crawling out of the dark right here. And he is truly screaming for vengeance, as we do know. The metal god. So there it is, Music Maniacs edition. Be interested to hear your thoughts. Have to imagine they're similar to my thoughts. If you're into this thing, you wish it was a little bit cheaper and a little bit more detail, a little bit more pizzazz with this one. But I am happy we got something like this. That's where I am, and that's where I sit, right here at this review table. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day and then some. We got even more content for you, if you can believe that, over on Patreon and YouTube channel memberships. Check it out if you have not already. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and of course, TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com. And that is also the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, available wherever podcasts are found, with video casts on YouTube with Rob Halford as a future guest, is what I've heard. So fact check that later is what I would say. So there it is for Rob Halford and Judas Priest. I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
I'm solid gold.